And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to being your consumer advocate, helping you understand your buying decisions and kind of navigating those waters, employment waters here in Tampa Bay, things happening out in the market. We're going to have a beach update from Clyde Smith. He's the general manager, Bilmar Beach Resort on beautiful Treasure Island, the official hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show coming up. Also, Chuck Peterson's in the house, Suncoast Roofing. We're going to talk about some of the supply restraints on wood cost, lumber. It's kind of interesting. The Lumber Coalition, the United States Lumber Coalition is kind of battling it out a little bit with the National Association of Home Builders. So I'm going to talk about a recent article that came out about that, kind of pointing fingers at what happened with the lumber prices. I mean, because they are up triple over the last 12 months, 3 times increase on lumber prices. Plus, we also have Thomas Young as well, rounding out our show. Cons Helping Cons, awesome charitable nonprofit organization that we work with here in Tampa Bay. Always trying to dedicate some of our show to helping out nonprofit organizations, charitable organizations as well, doing good work, doing God's work here in Tampa Bay, and that's one of the most important things we do here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Save our hotline number in your phone. At some point, you may need it. We'd love to connect with you, 813-670-7372. Call or text the hotline, 813-750-0550 is our hotline.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
And we got a hot listing here. This is a brand new listing that we've got, 1200 Gulf Boulevard. This is a beautiful condo penthouse on the beach, 1200 Gulf Boulevard, number 1805. Beautiful property, and a lot of times when you have a condo, you're kind of facing one direction. This condo has 360-degree views, beautiful property, multiple terraces where you can view both the intercoastal waterways, the intercoastal, as well as the beaches and the dolphin-filled waters of Sand Key in Clearwater Beach. Beautiful property available. Compliments of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. We also just put a video up on our YouTube page as well as our Facebook page. Make sure you check out the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty Facebook page for that beautiful video tour of the facility, and see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
This is God's country.
And this segment is brought to you by Veteran Gutter. Shout out to Brandon Porter and his team. American-made product, and this is a veteran-owned company. Support your veterans. Support the local economy here in Tampa Bay. If you're thinking about putting gutters on your home, I highly recommend Brandon Porter and Veteran Gutters. Make sure you let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. All right, in studio, Chuck Peterson. Welcome back, my friend.
Glad to be back. Glad to see you're back.
Yeah, man.
Got a little time off?
Yes, sir. I had a dental procedure done, and man, I didn't expect to be out a week.
Yeah, well, James said he paid the dentist a little extra so he could get some airtime.
There you go. He always does a great job filling in.
Yes,
I appreciate
he
James and John always doing a great job, and Jose and the team filling in. So Suncoast Roofing, what do you want to talk about today, my friend?
We'll talk a little bit. We'll talk about the shortages of lumber and just materials in general. We can talk about the shortages of labor as well.
Exactly.
We got Clyde. I'm sure they're battling the same battle, just a different category than we are. And then and we can talk a little bit about that insurance bill we were talking about last time, how it passed on Friday.
I want to get an update on that bill
and
definitely talk about that, because that's, to me, just seems like a step back, a step in the wrong direction, rather.
Correct.
For consumers, and we try to protect consumers here. Obviously is our deal here with the Consumer Quarterback Show. And we got Clyde Smith as well, General Manager, Bilmar Beach Resort. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you very much, Brandon. It's great to be back on here and talking to your listeners. And things are beautiful over here at the beach, as I'm sure they are over in Tampa, too. It's just a stretch of great weather everyone's been enjoying.
That's right. Yeah, what a great place to live, work, and play. We truly are blessed. Thousands of people moving to Florida on a weekly basis, thousands of people migrating. It's I talk a lot about real estate on the phones, and it's, the trend is south and west, and the trend has been that way, but now it's also even more blue states to red states. And then, of course, on vacation, too, what a great place to go visit the Bilmar Beach Resort. What a wonderful location you have over there. What's the beach looking like now?
So the beach is looking really good. A little warm right now, but that's okay. We still have the Gulf breezes coming in, and we have been busy. People are definitely continuing to come to the beach, and Of course, they're here. They can spread out and enjoy both of our pools. We have that great big sun deck. We're even getting ready to renovate that again. Our Waves pool bar continues to be terrific with a real commitment to live entertainment both there and the 7-day-a-week over at Sloppy Joe's. It's been an exciting time. Actually, I was talking last night, walked the beach after, and you'd almost feel you're still in spring break or a festival mode. There was just a lot of people having a really good time, lots of laughter and good times, and it's been good over here.
Yeah, I love going down to the beach, bringing the family down, and then also sometimes we will make a membership request for a boat for Freedom Boat Clubs. You got multiple Freedom Boat Club locations right there in Johns Pass area, Tierra Verde, right in that Treasure Island area. Of course, there's locations there. But what a great place to go and enjoy. Let's talk a little bit about business side of things. You are the general manager over there. You're running a business. And talk a little bit about some of the staffing crisis. What have you been seeing in terms of the labor pool?
So not to give away my age, but I'm over 40 years in this business. And I have never, even in places where you're gearing up for a one-time like a U.S. Open, I've never seen staffing as tight as it is right now. There's just, we held 5 job fairs with the Tampa Bay Beaches Chamber and had less than 50 people show up for all 5. It was a little discouraging, but we're doing our best. Of course, the first thing you do is take care of the people that are already on your team, and we're doing what you've heard all over the place, signing bonuses and referral bonuses. They're hanging in. The team we have is doing a really good job servicing the customers, but they're going to need a break. So we're trying to get some extra team members here, so get them trained and get our folks that just got through spring break a little bit of a break. It's very interesting. Everyone's getting creative. We're looking into new business models. There's apps for staff now that you can try to just put out a job, and hopefully someone will want to work that day, work that week after you vet them. It's really been unique. The community has come out with a new program called Patience in Pinellas, because people are having to wait a little longer for a table or a little longer for that burger to come out, because we're just trying to accommodate the best we can. And again, I think my team that's here is doing a great job, but we're just reminding some of our visitors and even some of our locals that, relax, get on island time, and just be patient. We'll get you served.
That's
and
right.
We're doing a good job of that. Our TripAdvisors indicate that we're, rising to the occasion. So I've been really happy with that, both the property and the Sloppy Joe's TripAdvisor. But it's been interesting, and we don't see it slowing down. For some of our residents, we're still doing our resident rates. So right now there's a 20% summer savings out there. So we're encouraging people to go ahead and book right on through summer and just keep it rolling. It's fun, but it's a lot of work.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. And you look at the migration patterns. People are moving to Florida. We see the housing demand. We're going to talk about the wood cost and some of the materials cost coming up as well with Chuck Peterson here in studio. But he's also echoing the same responses in terms of labor. Is that right, Chuck?
Correct. I mean, our labor is tremendously short, and to help Clyde out there, our girls went over to Sloppy Joe's. The Tampa office had a girls' evening out a couple weeks ago, went to Sloppy Joe's and had a great time.
So terrific. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we appreciate, I'm sure they just went up there and drank and had a good time. We won't talk about drinking on the air, but,
Yeah.
They had a
We've been had the
burger,
four
too.
beverages.
Yeah, but they had a great time, and no complaints. And so we love it over there.
Well, a little fun fact about Treasure Island is we're one of the very few beach communities that you can get that drink up at the great bar. We have unbelievable bartenders there, but you can take it out onto the beach trail and walk up and down the lighted beach trail at night. Without fear of getting in trouble. It is allowed, the open container. Certainly no glass out there on the beach. We don't want that mixed in there. And the other thing, just to mention, so everyone knows, it is turtle season now. That came in on Saturday.
Yep.
So everyone's working to keep the lights down and keep the curtains shut and take care of our turtle friends as they start their nesting. And we don't usually get anything right in front of our beach, but Treasure Island usually gets a dozen or so, turtle hatchlings nest. And that's pretty fun. So later on, as you get towards September, October, it's really fun if you can, at a safe distance, observe the turtles coming out or even volunteer to help with the effort. It's really a neat way to see nature at its best.
Yeah, that's
so
pretty
we're
cool.
in that season right now.
Yeah, I love that. And we're talking with Clyde Smith. He's the general manager of the Bilmar Beach Resort here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Also, Chuck Peterson in studio here, Suncoast Roofing. And when you look at the staffing crisis, the labor shortage, you can't help to mention that our great folks and leaders up in Washington, D.C., they're choosing right now to print a lot of money. And a lot of people are talking about inflation. There's a strong migration over to Bitcoin and these other Doge coins, these other currencies that are really kind of new for some people. They're not understanding how these cryptocurrencies work. But I think the overall impact, the challenge is we're printing a lot of money. It's hurting the American dollar, and it's also we're mailing out a bunch of checks. I was talking to someone this morning that had a multi-million-dollar listing that had just expired, and we were talking about marketing, and we happened up on that subject, and they said, "Yeah, my grandma actually got a check in the mail." She said, "I don't know why I even got it, but I'll keep it. I'll take the money. Of course, thanks." Yeah. So I think so many people are getting money, getting dollars handed to them. And it just seems like we're moving towards that socialism path, and it's causing a problem with capitalism. We're seeing right now here, we have business owners on the show, business managers on the show, saying we're trying to give people jobs so they can earn a living, feed their family, but they don't want the jobs. They're not there. The pool is not there. So
yeah, and there, in fairness, there are some locations like up in our Philadelphia hotel. We have a 1,400 room hotel up there that doesn't have the business. They can't reopen fully because it hasn't come back to some markets. But that's not Pinellas County, and that's not really the whole state of Florida. I was up in Tallahassee a few weeks ago for graduation, and the hotel I stayed at was having trouble servicing because they just did not have any. And that's a student town. That's where you normally have lots of labor pool.
Right. And
they were struggling. There was 2 servers at breakfast, and they did a great job considering it was just the 2 of them. So,
wow.
That's the other message I would love to send out to your listeners is, take care of those people that are out there and are putting themselves in the labor market. Be patient with them and take care of them. They're putting themselves out there to make sure that we get the service and the fun time that the beach is all about.
That's right, yep. And support your local businesses, the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com. You can see all of our local area business partners, expert contributors at consumerqb.com. Well, more with Clyde Smith, if he can hang on with us. We're going to take a break here, Clyde. Chuck Peterson as well, Suncoast Roofing. And when we come back, our expert contributors, we're going to dive a little bit deeper into this as well, the home builders' response to the U.S. Lumber Coalition, who kind of attacked the home builders' stance on lumber prices and import on duties. So we're going to dive a little deeper on what's driving the cost, what's the truth behind that, and what actually happened there. Plus, our feel-good story of the day, running back Najee Harris throws draft party for kids at a homeless shelter where he once lived. Pretty cool story. Stay with us right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. For more information, go to consumerqb.com.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
My friends, when choosing a listing agent to sell your home, their track record is critically important. Dennis Prager here for Brandon and Lindsay Rhymes, owners of Platinum MVP Team at Keller Williams Real Estate. They're consistently rated by the MLS in the top 1% of all Tampa Bay realtors, and that's a big deal. Brandon and Lindsay are always among the top realtors in the state. Call them today at 813-750-0550.
Find them at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Selling commercial or residential property? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP Team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rhymes. Reach me at 813-670-7372 or platinummvpteam.com.
My name is James DeJerome, and I produce the Consumer Quarterback Show for Brandon Rhymes. The Consumer Quarterback Show is a team, a group of like-minded professionals who partner together to provide our audience sound advice, knowledge, and information to make them wiser consumers. We work with all types of business owners and aggressively promote our local economy. We're currently conducting interviews for our expert contributors. If you own a business or know someone who would benefit from the exposure our show provides, please contact us at 813-750-0550 or online at consumerqb.com.
You're You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, where you can have your listing, your real estate listing featured live on air on our syndicated radio and TV show. 85 different markets, Apple, Amazon, Roku on the TV side. Of course, right here on 860 The Answer, FM 102.5 The Bone as well. 93.7 on the FM dial for Salem Radio as well. 1780 Clearwater Largo Road is one of our commercial listings right here in Tampa Bay. And this is a great opportunity. It's a corner lot location. It's an aluminum style building, steel type building where you have the roll up shutters. You've got a hot corner location, about 40 to 50,000 vehicles a day passing by. So a great opportunity to relocate your business and buy real estate, invest in one of the hottest real estate markets in the country right here in beautiful Tampa Bay. Also got a vacant lot here available, 202 South West Shore Boulevard. Vacant land, corner lot, south of Kennedy, on the east side of West Shore. What else do you want location-wise, right? Beautiful location, 202 South West Shore Boulevard, right here in Tampa Bay. You could build a dream home. You could potentially have it rezoned, put a commercial opportunity there. 202 South West Shore Boulevard, right here in beautiful Tampa Bay and South Tampa. That is great opportunities, and you can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. And this segment is brought to you by Discovery Golf Cars. You know, it seems like everybody's getting a golf car these days. Kids love playing with them, and you can use them for commercial or just regular old commercial use or personal use. Lots of makes and models. EasyGo, Star EV, Cushman. They've got new and pre-owned. You can rent or buy as well. Visit our friends at Discovery Golf Cars. Make sure you let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. Take them up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you're a fan of the Consumer Quarterback Show. All right, we got Clyde Smith on the line, General Manager of Bilmar Beach Resort and beautiful Treasure Island, and also Chuck Peterson here in studio. Chuck, I wanted to ask you a little bit about, you know, when we look at these, I'm going to go to the National Association of Home Builders has a response to a recent article from the U.S. Lumber Coalition. So essentially what we're looking at here is there's a debate. So there was an article that was written. They're coming back and saying, well, when debating the reasons for skyrocketing lumber prices and supply shortages and how it is impeding housing and economic growth and hurting American home buyers, home builders, and also lumber consumers, because it's not just the home builder. I mean, people are still doing their own projects at home. The coalition would have you believe that the NAHB's view on duties on Canadian lumber shipments into the U.S. are the only factor in determining lumber prices. This is an extreme mischaracterization of our position. NAHB has always asserted that lumber tariffs are a contributing factor that leads to price volatility. The primary reason why lumber prices have tripled over the last 12 months, going from roughly $350 per board feet to nearly $1,200, according to Random Lengths, is due to insufficient production. Moreover, supply shortages have caused the price of other building materials to rise over that year as well. OSB prices are up more than 400% since April.
Everything's up. I mean, it's, so I'll throw my 2 cents in there. This is this year. We're seeing it this year, but last year it was already moving. We had to do a thing for a court appointed item, and we had to reprice from February last year to February of this year. Last year we were paying $22 for a sheet of plywood. This past February we were paying $48. We're paying $58 now.
Wow.
But last year it was already moving. It was headed up. It's just accelerating now because now we're through last year's hurricane season. So remember last year we had how many storms hit the U.S.?
Yeah.
Like 7 or 8 storms hit the U.S.
Yeah.
Okay. And it takes a few months for that production to go into the cycle towers. So they start rebuilding all that. Mm-hmm. On top of what you and I talk about a lot of times is the new construction in places like Florida and Texas and North Carolina, where I'm from, where people are moving to, the new construction is booming.
Yeah.
Booming, right? So that demand is already outpacing what the production is. And then you add on all the storm damage from last year that's trying to take up, the production. Texas got shut down for 2 months. There's a ton of mills in Texas, and it was shut down basically for 2 months with
that snowstorm.
Snowstorm, and then the electrical outages and all that kind of stuff. And Texas now, I know a lot of guys over there who do a lot of storm work, and they're saying there's more insurance claims in Texas from the winter storms, than there were from the 3 hurricanes they had last year.
Wow.
So that production is also in the mix because it's quicker to fix the, repair kind of things. So that just the sheer volume that we're using as a country is outpacing, I'm sure, anything. And I know it says in here that the production is probably shorter than what it could be, but you got to know, if you owned a lumber mill, you got to be working 24/7, because how much? I mean, you're making more money now than you ever made in your life, right?
Well, I want to dive deeper into that as well. So there's fuel, gas, the transportation costs, but also I want to dive into.
And I will say the tariffs do add to it, because we get a ton of lumber from Canada, and we tax that lumber, tariff tax, however you want to call it.
Yep.
It makes it more expensive than if they used to ship it across regular.
Right.
So that's something that, you wish the government would just say, okay, we got to have the freaking lumber. Let's take it off. Let's go.
I want to dive deeper into the reasons why. I want to let Clyde Smith as well jump in here and also give us kind of parting words for him, let him get back to his day. So Clyde, you still there, my friend?
I am still here. Yes,
Okay.
just listen, because all that affects us too. We're always constantly doing improvements to our property, and certainly with 3 buildings, we got plenty of roofing to be done here, and it's affecting us also.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, so it's hitting everybody. The fuel, the gas. The Green New Deal kind of moving towards that way killed a lot of jobs, but it's also the unintended consequences, or maybe it was intended. Who knows where their heart's at? But the fuel and transportation costs. But we're coming into our last couple of minutes in this segment. I wanted to talk to Clyde. I wanted Clyde to just give us an overview of what you're looking for, some of the amenities that you have, and call to action. I think is to people to call directly, stay off of those different gimmick type websites that supposedly look for the best fare.
Yes, right now especially BilmarBeachResort.com, and make sure you're not getting on one of the fake ones that have / reservations and try to mimic ours. But it's you'll see a nice COVID message when you first go on. That's how you know you're on ours. And we have both an advanced purchase. That's a great value out there. It does commit you to that stay. Or right now we're running our midweek summer savings. So those are 2 great ways to get a really good value at the beach. And then of course, part of our amenities, we've got the bicycles, the kayak paddleboard down with Turbo at the edge of the beach. Is a great guy. He'll take care of umbrella needs if you need that down there also. And, we have plenty of parking and just lots of outdoor space. It's a really good time. Our new Waves Fun Zone, we just redid that one more time, Brandon, even since your last visit. So now there's lounge sitting areas that families can gather. It's not like you feel the need to have to get up and turn the table, which is the restaurant term for sitting the next people. People can just go and hang out and have a really good time. The fire pits are out there, so in the evening there's just a real fun vibe. And we'd love to see some more people come out and join us. And we've got the summer coming, so time to make the plans now.
I love that idea, too, if you can afford to go during the middle of the week, so there's extra savings that people can book for, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday type of a scenario?
Oh, it can be as much as $100 off of a weekend stay per night. The weekdays is definitely where it's just a little slower vibe, and the fun. The weekends are great, no doubt about that. Weddings are still amazing. We will do probably 70 weddings this year, which is, of course, many more than double last year, all things considered. And it just keeps coming. Then we're going to have the holiday season coming, and we have several venues for great holiday parties, as small, as low as few as 5 people, up to 150.
Nice.
And Tara, my catering person, does a wonderful job. Every group she works with, you feel like you're her only client. She just is very personal and does a great job with that, and the rest of the sales team.
All right, good stuff. Thanks a lot, Clyde. Appreciate
Thanks for having me on.
Update.
Everyone take care.
Yes, sir.
Great.
All right.
Care, Chuck.
That's Chuck Peterson, GM, Bilmar Beach Resort, hotel partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Coming up, more with Chuck Peterson. We're going to dive a little deeper into this story about the supplies, the lumber, and what's going on with the United States, the National Association of Home Builders, and also coming up later as well, Chuck, we've got Thomas Young here, Cons Helping Cons, and our feel-good story of the day, running back Najee Harris. He's from Alabama, was drafted this week, and he's throwing a party for homeless kids at a shelter where he once lived. Stay with us. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
And owner of the Black Swan Group, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Five, four, three, two, one.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Brandon Rhymes here, Consumer Quarterback Show, helping you win in any marketplace. That's our goal. My wife Lindsay and I own a top-ranked real estate team here in Tampa Bay. We're in the top 1% of all realtors in Tampa Bay, and we help our sellers profit more by featuring their properties live on air on our syndicated show in 85 different outlets, 85 markets here in Tampa Bay. We've got some hot properties for sale. 1602 East MLK, Martin Luther King Boulevard right here in Tampa Bay. Corner lot location, 1602 East MLK. This is Gill's Body Shop. It's an operating business, so of course, you know, the going business, the going name and concern of the business is for sale. 45 years in business at this great location. He's super busy. Reputable auto body shop and repair shop right here in Tampa Bay for sale, and a great price too, under $500,000, 400, mid 400s, I believe, is the asking price for that property. We also have vacant land available, Gun Highway in Odessa. Great area in Odessa to live and build a home. We got Zero Gun Highway available for sale right here in Tampa Bay, 2.21 acres. And it's a great opportunity to build on a nice lake. This is a lakefront home. Odessa is a great community with lots of lakes and kind of has that little country feel to it still. So beautiful property, and you're still close to Tampa International Airport. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
Quick shout out to Brothers Easy Moving, the official moving partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Brothers Easy Moving. Whether you're planning a local or long distance move, reach out to Brothers Easy Moving. Make sure to let them know the real estate quarterback sent you. All right, Chuck Peterson's in the house. Suncoast Roofing, longtime friend of the program. And we also have Thomas Yunk on the line as well. Cons helping cons. And gentlemen, I wanted to go back to this story because it's interesting. It's kind of a little rift going on here between the the National Association of Home Builders and the U.S. Lumber Coalition. So everybody wants to point the finger, right, Chuck? In business, they want to figure out, okay, where's the finger? So this U.S. Lumber Coalition's claiming that only 4% of a house was actually made from wood product, and then the article goes on to to say, it says, perhaps the coalition's choice to radically distort NAHB's position was a red herring to take attention away from why the products remain at such low levels during a high period of demand. Yeah. And it goes on to say, okay, and while the tariffs play a role, the unprecedented lumber prices hikes are attributed to the following factors. Number one, many mills reduced production last spring due to stay-at-home orders and social distant measures enacted by the state and local governments, which, first of all, was ridiculous. Why are we locking down everybody? This is a pandemic that kills less than 1% of the people.
And lumber never slowed down. I mean, buying lumber never. Yeah, we never shut down. The home builders really never shut down last year anyway. So shutting the mills down did hurt. Same as they did for the shingle production for a couple months.
Yep.
And then you're behind, and then the storms hit, and then you can't catch up.
You know who we should have shut down? We should have shut down the big media corporations. How about we shut them down?
We should just let everybody just keep rolling.
The fake news.
But and the NAHB, their side is, hey, it's making houses more expensive for everybody, and we don't like that because it makes it tougher to buy. And the lumber guys are doing we're doing all we can do, and supply and demand. Our shingles, for the roofing industry, shingles, the metal roof, the tile, all of it's the same way. It's not just lumber. It's everything that touches the roof is, we're up 15-20% from last year. I mean,
cost-wise?
Yeah, just material costs.
Material. And here's number two. The number two reasons why it says, when it became clear in the ensuing months that the housing weathered the storm much better than predicted in other markets, of course, like hospitality, bars, gyms.
Right.
Lumber mills did not ramp up production accordingly.
Yeah, and they're right in there with the shingle manufacturers the same. They took 3 or 4 months to really kind of get back going, because all those guys, and I'm sure the lumber guys were the same as the shingle guys, they had inventory sitting on that lot, right? They had tons. The storms came, COVID came, all that stuff came, and the inventories they had, so they shut down. And then when they came back, the inventory's going down. What they didn't expect was the sheer volume that came when everybody said, okay, we're done with the shutdown.
Well, that's point 3, actually, that you're leading that. It says, moreover, producers did not anticipate the massive uptick in demand from do-it-yourselfers and big-box retailers also. Yeah. So not only the traditional, the professional demand, the home builder demand, but also the do-it-yourselfer saying, okay, they're telling me I got to stay at home. Yeah. I might as well knock out that honey-do list. I might as well build that she shed or whatever they call them nowadays.
And like we were talking about, and new construction never really stopped, right? And it's increased 20% in the last year and a half. So even though we were smoking in the last year or two, this year's expected to be 20% higher than last year. And we have all that storm production this in the system. I'm not sure if there had been no COVID. I don't see any way that the production would have been much different than it is today, other than they might not have been quite so far behind.
Yeah, they wouldn't have been as far behind. Thomas, you want to add anything to that? Thomas Young?
Well, actually, I'm just noticing it, too, that, I help people get jobs when they come out of prison, and the construction industry picks up every person I send them.
No question.
Yeah.
So, Chuck, if you ever need hiring, Thomas has some folks.
Our production guys, and it's tough to get guys to work when it's 105 degrees, June, July, August, September on a roof.
But you'll be surprised with these guys that come out of prison, because they're on probation. They're happy to have a job.
Yeah, we have several.
They're happy to be outside.
Yeah.
Let's finish this article. So that it goes on, because the one group there, the Association of the U.S. Lumber Coalition, they were trying to pass it along. Well, it's only 4% of a home, and so they were misleading people, is what they're saying. And it says, if you walk into a home, you may notice the cabinets, the wood, the windows, the doors, the trusses are often made of wood. So it's not just the roof; it's the walls.
Yeah, there's tons.
Then you also see the OSB, which for people that don't know what OSB, what is that? How does that?
That's the particle board that half the houses are built out of. And if you buy a house, I'm just telling you, if you have any say-so whatsoever in your housing, ask them to just use plywood instead of OSB.
Yeah, because it's leftover stuff that's pressed together.
It's pressed together. Yeah, it's just it's more like wood chips pressed together. It is allowable under the Florida Building Code, which is surprising to me. But it is, when we replace roofs, if you have an OSB roof, you're replacing at least twice as much wood as you would if you have a plywood roof.
Yeah.
It just rots away.
So it's an inferior product. So it just goes on to say how builders do not generally buy lumber from sawmills. They buy from an intermediary. So there's also an intermediary involved.
Well, yeah, and we're the same. You're buying from 84 Lumber. You're buying from Home Depot. You're buying from ABC Supply, because the lumber mill doesn't sell direct to you anyway. I mean, that part's probably not in there. But if you're Lennar Homes, you don't get to buy from a lumber mill.
Yeah.
You know, you have to go buy from a 84 Lumber type operation.
So here it goes on to say the NAHB has conducted extensive analysis on these costs, and it found at current prices, builders are paying about $48,000 for the softwood lumber in an average single-family home, nearly triple what it was a year ago. I'm so glad my house got finished a year and a half ago, 2 years ago.
And I will say, I talked to a builder buddy of mine, and he's struggling trying to fulfill contracts that are a year old.
Exactly.
Because he didn't have a clause in there that says, hey, if materials move more than 10%,
exactly.
Like we'd have that in our commercial jobs, but our residential jobs we don't have it even though we should, right? We have a deadline of when you have to accept, but that those builders didn't have those increases built in there, so now they have a contract signed with you or me to build that house, and it's taken a year to get there because everything was shut down, and then COVID, and then the permitting and all, and they're struggling to make any money. It's killing them.
Yeah, exactly. So it's interesting.
It's tough.
Yeah, you look at all the different challenges, the supply chain, and how that affects housing. And then, people. Right now, I'm hearing a lot of people calling me complaining. Of course, you hear the same story over and over. Well, multiple offers. I'm not able to find anything. I said, okay, well, why don't you think about this? Why don't you shift your mindset instead of competing with everybody else that wants a ready built home, a kind of a resale home, we call it. Why don't you think about buying vacant land? Yeah, it's going to take you longer to do it, and it's going to be a little bit more expensive, but you're going to be able to build exactly what you want. It's going to take you a little bit longer, and then you can have a nice home, on a up and coming area, because it's going to be a brand new build.
Right, and the argument that the wood guys get to say to the home builder guys is, you're selling so much stuff at so high a price. That number is. The wood number, just like the shingle number, is incorporated to everybody.
Yeah.
So it's not like one builder gets it and one builder doesn't. So somebody gets an advantage. It's all passed along now. I mean, every big builder out there has already incorporated those numbers to what they're selling now. And we're still paying 20% over what the listed price is.
Question for you. Are there any big group of co-ops, like a group of home buyer builders?
Yeah, we've talked about that ourselves, actually. But the problem is you can't get past the middle guy. You can't get past 84 Lumber or ABC Supply, or if you had 5 roofing companies we wanted to buy direct from GAF, they wouldn't allow that.
They couldn't do it.
Yeah, unfortunately.
It's set up that way.
Yeah. I mean, the way the system's already made. Now down the road, who knows? But today, that's
Chuck. I want to get to this insurance bill. Give me an update on this. So we got Chuck Peterson, Suncoast Roofing. A couple of weeks ago, he mentioned there was a bill up for debate in the Florida State House.
Correct.
Passed the House, went to the State Senate. Passed the Senate.
Went to the House. It didn't pass the first part of last week, and then they made some small revisions, I understand, and it passed in an emergency session Friday. And then the Senate voted to accept the House's version either Friday night or Saturday. So it's off to the governor to sign. But it's that bill we were talking about where, in theory, it's supposed to keep your insurance premiums from rising because there were so many complaints about insurance costs going up. But what it does is it reduces your coverage dramatically. So if you have a shingle house and a storm comes once it's passed, you'll be able to recoup 25% of your roof less your deductible.
After 10 years?
After 10 years.
So the first 10 years, I think they're banking on is people are going to sell their property. The average property sold 5 to 7 years.
But it's going to be the age of the roof.
Oh, so it's not going to be the brand new policy that was built. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, I hadn't 100% read, but maybe that's what they're banking on is, hey, you're not going to keep your house for 10 years, so it won't really matter. But that's not really the way that I read it to read. But I need to ask that question. But but let's talk about, it's not just a homeowner, but also if you live in a condo or a townhouse, you're building, right? Mm-hmm. You just spent $1 million to redo your condo complex.
Yeah.
And your reserve is now set at 40 years out because the other side of the government, the building code side of the government, mandates that your shingles and meet a wind resistance of 150 miles an hour, and they can maintain that integrity. And now the shingles, because of how strict the building codes are, the shingles are good for 40 years.
Yeah.
Right? So you have this side of the government saying, you've got to do this, we've got to do better, we can't have all this stuff happen. So the building codes are tougher and tougher, right?
Right.
Which is good. I'm not saying that's bad. It's good for the consumer because it keeps your property intact. But then you go over here to this side of the government, and they're saying, yeah, we're going to make you get a 40-year roof, but if the storm comes, it's really only good for 10 years, and you're going to be paying to replace it, not the insurance company.
That's wrong.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't like it. It's not protecting the consumer.
No.
I see a lot of bankruptcies coming. I see a lot of people leveraging money
You're gonna be
taking out home equity lines that they can't afford.
All over the place.
Exactly, maxing out their equity in their home.
Yep.
Lots of problems with that. I don't really like that one. But
I'm with you.
We got to take a break here. More from Chuck Peterson, Thomas Yunk coming up as well. Cons Helping Cons, free to serve on Facebook. Cons Helping Cons, free to serve. We're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, plus our feel-good story of the day. Find out about this Alabama running back. He just got drafted into the NFL. Find about how he helped out homeless kids here at a shelter where he once lived. Stay with us. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
This is Diane Vance with Fairway Independent Mortgage, a member of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Please give me a call for any of your mortgage needs. We do all sorts of loans. If you would like information on a mortgage, you can text me or call me at 727-647-8199. I will take care of all your mortgage needs. Go to my website at dianevance.com.
Ian Beckles here with my man Brandon Rhymes, a.k.a. the real estate quarterback. Brandon, what's happening with the market?
Thanks, Ian. We are in a low inventory market, so any of our listeners are homeowners and would like a free comparable market analysis or a 2.5% listing, we will honor this for the first 3 listeners who call or text in 813-773-1253. Free CMA and a 2.5% real estate listing at 813-773-1253.
Check out consumerqb.com. Selling commercial or residential property? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rhymes. Reach me at 813-670-7372 or platinummvpteam.com.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, we're back here. Consumer Quarterback Show, helping you understand your buying decisions, making you more street smart as a consumer advocate. And always telling you a feel-good story of the day here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Got a couple of hot listings, and then we're going to jump into our feel-good story. 801 East Palm Avenue in Tampa, also 803 East Palm Avenue in Tampa. This is close to Ybor City. These are large buildings that are operating as daily hostel rentals or also apartments for rent as well on a short-term basis. So the cash flow is key here. There's a lot of cash flow flowing. 801 and 803 East Palm Avenue in Tampa. Also 1905 Taliaferro, North Taliaferro. Great opportunity. There are 3 structures side by side. They're all available for sale. $2.1 million asking price right here in beautiful Tampa Bay. Great investment opportunities from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Check out our website, platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, every day we tell you something good here on the show.
Tell me something good.
All right, so Alabama running back Najee Harris was selected by the Pittsburgh Steelers in the first round of the 2021 NFL Draft. On draft day, he threw a party for kids at his homeless shelter where he lived for several years growing up. And on Thursday night, Harris was selected 24th in the draft, and he went back to celebrate at the Greater Richmond Interfaith Homeless Program. And Harris's parents, 4 siblings, all lived in a small room at the shelter in 2010 while struggling with homelessness. And on draft night, the party included pizza, chicken, cupcakes, and goodie bags. Harris stopped by to visit and take photos with shelter workers and other families who live there. Shelter leaders say Harris is a huge inspiration for the kids, and they're thankful that he continues to stay involved. And he did not let his situation dictate his future, is a quote from the shelter manager who worked with Harris. And it makes me proud to do my job and knowing more about the difference that he's made in someone's life. And Harris is getting his first-round pick. He's getting a lot of attention now, he said. And he said that's good because he's going to shed light on this homelessness issue. So think about that. Here we live in a great country where on the negative mainstream media we're constantly under attack. What a bad country this is and how rough it is out there. But then you got a gentleman going to make millions of dollars in the NFL. He was homeless in 2010, and he was an athlete. He worked hard at his profession, and now he is signed on with the Steelers, running back from Alabama. So pretty cool story. Rags to riches.
Yeah, it's just great, really. And I will say, if you can read a lot of stories about these young kids coming out of college these days, much different than 10 or 15 years ago. They're really, really got their heads on right.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of social work, a lot of charity work, a lot of, there's not a lot of craziness going on like there used to be in the old days. These kids are really, really grown up. So It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's awesome. Thomas, were you able to hear that story?
Yes, sir.
What's your reaction?
It is always good to hear about people giving back. People not forgetting where they came from.
That's right. So Thomas Young, Cons Helping Cons here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Give us an update, my friend. What are you up to?
Well, actually, this discussion we're just having about the price of materials and the price of real estate has impacted us, too, greatly. We're having a hard time finding places to rent, and we're talking about buying houses, and that's starting to become out of reach for our nonprofit. So actually what we're looking at doing is we're planning on getting some containers and putting them on vacant land, and, there's not much wood in there, so we're not going to have that expense, and making those into living quarters. And actually, it'll be cheaper to do that than to build a tiny house.
I love that idea, man. I love that idea. It's great, a great opportunity. Great, it's entrepreneurship at its best, right there. You're figuring out a problem, solving a problem, and these. So Cons Helping Cons. Give us the overview as well, in case some people are not very familiar. Cons Helping Cons, free to serve on Facebook.
Well, Cons Helping Cons was discovered actually when I was in prison, because I would see guys leave prison and come back, leave prison, come back. And I said to him, what are you doing? Why are you coming back? And he said, well, we get out there, we can't find a place to live because we're felons. We can't find a job because we're felons. So we end up doing what we do. We go back to a lifestyle of crime, and here we are back. So it was my plan when I got out that I would help these guys, that I would find them housing immediately upon getting released, find them a job within 24 to 72 hours, get them on their feet, assign them a mentor to help them with their decision-making, because, some guys, when they come out of prison, they still have some criminal mind thoughts. And I'll tell you, it's worked. We've helped over 1,000 men and women now in the last, what are we up to now, 8 years, and only 5 have gone back to prison.
Wow.
That's stellar.
That's awesome,
I got to say, stellar.
That's really cool. So helping them get back into the community, the recidivism rate was a new term for me when we first spoke. But that's really such a big thing. We've had the Hillsborough County Sheriff, Chad Chronister, on the show. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting because they, the more I found out about this, they have programs there, everything from, hair weaving was one of his examples. I guess you can make money weaving hair nowadays. Hair weaving to, different types of, jobs. So there's opportunity now. So
they have great programs at the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. They have welding. They teach these guys and women, how to drive forklifts, all stuff that they can take with them and help them get a job immediately.
Yeah, that's super awesome. I love to hear the corrections side, getting involved with that, getting people back out in the community to be, law-abiding citizens, tax-paying citizens. We need more taxpayers because those politicians are spending the money. We know they're spending the money, so we need more taxpayers. Let's jump into our lightning round here. We're going to get our top tips, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom.
The lightning round!
I am so good at lightning rounds!
I majored in lightning rounds.
All right, Thomas Young, top tips, parting words of wisdom.
Well, just from what we heard about that NFL fella, don't forget where you came from, because that keeps you grounded. But don't look in the rearview mirror all the time. Look out the windshield and keep going straight.
That's right. I love it.
Yeah,
keep it rolling.
Yeah, you got to keep moving forward, but you still got to remember where you came. That's good advice.
Exactly.
Yeah. for us, it being in the professional business of, helping people at their houses, you want the consumers to do a little bit of work and check out who they're having come to their door, right?
Yes.
We've talked about 100 times how people, get taken advantage of by not checking out who they invite in their house to give them a quote on their roof or anything else in their house. So take a time, make sure you're getting a professional that's licensed, permitted, and all the kind of things before you sign anything or give away your money.
That's right. Got to be diligent these days.
Yes.
All right, I got a good one for you. It's a good one that I talk about when I do speaking events and other engagements, but it's the smiling effect, okay? Having a happiness attitude. We've always heard that your attitude should be an attitude of gratitude, but did you know that your mental agility increases by 31% just by simply smiling? When you're in a negotiation or you're talking to someone, you're in a business meeting, just by simply smiling at the other person. By the way, it works on the phone too. If you're smiling on the phone, it will translate through the phone as a happy attitude. So mental agility increases by 31% just simply by putting yourself in a good mood, smiling. And I know that's hard sometimes in sales. If you're in sales, you're on the phone, you get some negativity thrown at you. Rebound, bounce back, come back, keep fighting, and keep that positive mindset in place. And that's going to offer more of an opportunity to collaborate. The other person's going to want to do business with you because you're in a happy mood. They're going to collaborate more. It's going to be a more cooperative environment. So be careful about the way that you just kind of carry yourself on a daily basis. That's one of the key things when it comes to sales, is just putting yourself back into that positive mindset, having an openness to collaborate, and of course asking open-ended questions if you are negotiating. That's a key in having tactical empathy, like former FBI hostage negotiator Chris Voss says in his book. So, hey, another great show. I want to thank Chuck Peterson. Thanks for coming in, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely.
Suncoast
Enjoy being
Roofing.
here always.
Awesome. And Thomas Young, Cons Helping Cons, thank you as well.
Thank you.
And we heard from Clyde Smith, the general manager of the Bilmar Beach Resort, in the first segment as well. So, hey, another great show. Thanks so much for tuning in and hanging out with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Follow us online. We would love to connect with you at Brandon Rhymes 1 on Instagram and Twitter, and Consumer Quarterback Show page on Facebook. Please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. We'll see you next time. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.